Hello everyone, welcome to my second channel. I'm gonna be trying to post every week on here. I know I've been a bit slack, but hey guys, I got other channels. Today I wanted to teach you how you can stop being a toxic individual. But first of all, let's go through some behaviors which are toxic, and maybe you're gonna realize, hey, I'm a little bit toxic. I don't honestly think everyone is entirely pure. We all have little toxic behaviors, and it can be driven by multiple things such as ego, insecurity, lack of awareness, lack of intelligence, among many other things. The important thing is that you're able to recognize your toxic traits and you actually want to improve it, okay? If you don't want to improve it, you want to stay toxic, this video is not really for you. What are the benefits to not being toxic? Because I know sometimes it can actually be fun to be toxic, but ultimately we're not toxic. We're going to attract better people and we're going to maintain healthier relationships and overall just be a better individual that we can be proud of. I'm going to go through a list right now of some toxic behaviors. Maybe you cannot take blame for anything. You're always looking to push the blame to someone else. Zero accountability. You cannot apologize. Toxic behavior number one. Number two, boundaries don't apply to you. You're selfish. All you do is like think for yourself. Selfishness links to pushing people's boundaries because ultimately you're doing what you want to do. You're manipulative, like you tend to lie to people and trick them. You know, I have a lot of videos on manipulation, on like actually how to manipulate people, but my videos actually are trying to teach you how to not get manipulated. It's just a lot of people, they take it the other way, and it's funny because that actually reflects on you more than me. I explicitly say in every video, I'm not teaching you in this video how to manipulate people, and people go, she's teaching us how to manipulate people, she's such a bad person. You're twisting my own words. That's a reflection of you, not me. Hey. Okay, next. Your feelings matter above anyone else's. Again, links back to selfishness. In fact, I'm dropping a video, or maybe it's already dropped, on my main channel about red flags and people. This can kind of tie into this topic, so go watch that. Okay, next. You find it hard to listen. You just want to like talk over the other person. You're very self-interested. Toxic behavior. You're hot and cold, you're inconsistent, you send mixed messages to people, you invalidate their emotions, you make them feel bad, you're the center of the universe, you're very, very solipsistic, you cannot take on any criticism or any other people's opinions and advice. Maybe you have toxic behaviors in relationships, such as you're very controlling over your partner because you've been hurt in your previous relationships. You constantly think your partner's going to cheat, so you're keeping him on a leash, you're checking his phone, you're spying on him or her or them. There are like a number of different things, and ultimately each toxic behavior is quite different and we can address them individually in other videos, but this is just going to give you an overview of your healing. Again, I want to preface, when you notice your toxic behaviors, you might be harsh on yourself. For me, I really hold myself to a incredibly high standard of good morality, perfectionism, and I've been talking about this with my therapist recently, but when I notice a toxic behavior, I pile it onto myself. I'm like, oh my god, I'm such a bad person, I can't believe I did this. Literally, if I see a homeless man and I don't immediately give him money and I have to think about it, I'm like, you're a bad person. That's a maladaptive thought pattern, of course, right? Because it's actually not true. Sorry guys, I'm digressing, but what I'm saying is, just because you have toxic behaviors, it doesn't mean you're a bad person unless you're actually consciously doing this and you don't want to change. Don't want to change is what I will emphasize. If you don't want to change, perhaps you are a bad person then, because you enjoy manipulating people, hurting them. You might be a narcissist. Not kidding. Drinking my matcha latte that I got from Japan. Just got back from Japan vlog soon. Anyway, so how can we be less toxic? Number one, check your ego. A lot of toxicity actually can come from our ego. I know with men, I can be a little bit toxic sometimes, especially if it's like a guy who's trying to one-up me. I have a big ego sometimes, so I want to one-up him, and that's actually a toxic behavior. Like, I should actually just be my feminine and be like, oh, cool, like, okay. But no, a guy the other day, I hate this guy, he literally said to me, because he was being like an asshole, and he's like, I'm actually going to Bali next week. And I was like, oh yeah, I went to Bali last week actually for a month, and I'm going to Japan next week for 2 weeks. Which was actually true, but like, I shouldn't be one-upping like that. Like, I had the desire to one-up and mock this man. Toxic behavior. Like, I'm admitting my own flaws here. Nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Anyways, number two, perhaps you're really insecure. A lot of toxicity does stem from insecurity, and what has really helped me is therapy. Like, guys, I talked about this. I just came out of a really bad depressive episode, which I've never had it this bad before, and my therapist at BetterHelp saved me. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. So BetterHelp has over 30,000 licensed therapists in their network, and all you need to do is fill out a questionnaire and they will match you with the right therapist for you. I didn't like my first therapist at all because therapy is a bit like dating, like we just did not match. But then I requested a new therapist and I could actually choose my therapist then. I picked one who was spiritual and she saved me. I'm actually seeing her in 5 minutes, like literally in 5 minutes. And it helped me so much, guys. Like when I was in the state, they also have like group therapy, like different topics. You know, you can change your therapist for free of charge. Imagine you don't like your therapist in real life. You got to go to your doctor, get a new referral, get on the waiting list. It's expensive and it's costly. BetterHelp, you can schedule it at any time. You can do it from the convenience of your own home. You can message them, you can phone call them, you can video call them. They also have financial aid available because they care about your mental health. Go use my link right here to get a discount off your first month of therapy with BetterHelp. Once you're able to actually self-reflect and identify your insecurities, your ego issues, your flaws, etc., or situations where you do think you're being toxic, then you can start to be mindful of your behavior. And yes, maybe you do need a therapist to do this with, because I know for me, there were some things I would do and I'm like, why do I want to mug that man? Why do I want to crush his ego? Like, where is this stemming from in me and how can I stop it? That's just an example. But sometimes it helps to actually like work through it with someone. You can of course do shadow work. When I was really desperate and I didn't have a therapist, I talked to ChatGPT. But ultimately, ChatGPT doesn't replace good old therapy. Next, listen to those around you. So if people are giving you feedback, especially your partner in a relationship, you need to listen to them. A toxic behavior is entirely dismissing how they feel and saying like, no, I'm perfect, you are the problem. No one is perfect. We need to take accountability sometimes. Next, show yourself compassion and empathy. It's really hard when you notice these toxic traits to just be like, wow, I'm a bad person or I'm broken. You're not, okay? And like I said, nobody's perfect. Compassion for yourself. So be open to feedback, you guys. Address yourself regularly. Engage in self-reflective behaviors. Be open to feedback. Practice mindfulness. I love meditation because it really just gets you out of your head and it makes you realize like some things don't matter, some things don't warrant a reaction. Next, respect people's boundaries. If you're toxic, you probably are overstepping those boundaries. Next, apologize to everybody you've hurt. And ultimately, like, try to practice less toxic behaviors. One of my really bad toxic behaviors is I can be so negative sometimes, especially on social media. Like, I almost love it and I honestly say sometimes I'm cosplaying being negative. Like, it's sometimes fun for me online to like post those really negative memes or those depressive memes and just spread the negativity to every one of my close friends, but that's a toxic behavior, right? And I'm like, I gotta stop this. I'm gonna talk with this tonight to my therapist in 9 minutes exactly. Why do I do this? Practice positivity, spreading positivity, because as well, like, how we are viewing things is what's going to be reflected back to us, right? If we see everything in a negative light, the world is negative, everything is bad. There is always something deeper for why you are toxic. You're not actually innately a toxic person, like I said, unless you're probably a narcissist, which is really, really rare. I don't like how much that word is thrown around. It's super rare. 1% of the population has narcissism. Of that 1%, 25% of that 1% are women. Imagine how rare it is to actually have that, you guys. A lot of the time people can blame mental illness or like a personality disorder, but they blame everything on their condition. It's like an excuse. Oh, like I stole from you because I have BPD. Literally one of my ex-friends, she would go steal Uber Eats from people's house outside their doorstep. She would steal like their pot plants, etc. And she's like, it's because I have BPD. No, it's not. Like, you're just blaming it on something else. So accept responsibility. And if you do have a personality disorder or a mental illness which makes you behave in more toxic ways, you actually have to take it upon yourself to then be even more conscious than the average person of these behaviors and how they're affecting other people. So that's where therapy can come in, self-reflection, journaling, etc. Yeah, that's all from me today, you guys. Don't forget to join Triple S Society. We have the accelerator program coming very soon, so if you want to get into it, apply right here. If you just want more content from me, it's only $7 per month and you get 4 new videos from me per month. If you want to join actual Triple S Society, where we have courses, you get access to all the previous courses, our group, weekly live coaching sessions, which we're doing just for this month, challenges, and so much more, come join now. Ich liebe dich. Tschüss.